Hi guys, this is Ray from Thinks About Tutoring. Today we're going to be looking at this 5-mark sequence question. It's an arithmetic sequence question. It's not super difficult, but it's a little different. It's we try and do questions on this channel that you might not find in other places. That aren't exactly. We do both common questions to get good practice, but also ones that look interesting and a bit more challenging. So it tells us that there's an arithmetic sequence that has a first term 60, a common difference of negative 2.5. So given that the kth term is 0, find k. Well, if it has a first term, remember the formula for an arithmetic sequence is that an is the first term, or actually I guess what we usually do. So un is the first term a plus n minus 1 times d, right? So a is what? The first term is 60 plus n minus 1, and d is negative 2.5. So if you do a bit of simplifying, un is going to be 62.5 minus 2.5n. Now this is equal to 0. So that means that 62.5 is equal to 2.5n. So in terms of calculating that, well, we know that 2.5 goes into 10 4 times, because in paper 1. So 2.5 goes into 10 4 times. So it goes into 60 24 times. But then we also have to add an extra one because it's 62.5. So that should be 25. N should equal to 25. I'm going to be a little bit cheeky. I'm going to check it right here. But I think that should be correct. So 62.5 divided by 2.5, it's 25, exactly. So you can do it that way. You can think, how many 2.5s are there in 10? Well, there's 4. So if there's 6 10s, that means it's going to be 4 times 6, 24, plus an extra 1. So n is 25, or k, sorry. That's the kth term, the 25th term. Now this is the harder part. Given let Sn denote the sum of the first n terms. Find the maximum. So this sequence, in terms of the value of the terms, is decreasing, right? Because it has a negative common difference. It's going down, 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 down. So that means that the maximum is actually not, we don't get a bigger number as we increase n past a certain point, because we're going to be adding negative terms. So what we want to do is we want to find the sum of all the positive terms. Now what did we just do? Well, we found the term after which the terms become negative, right? Because at k, or at n equals 25, everything else before it is positive and everything else after it is negative. So that's going to be the maximum, because we're going to be adding all of the positive terms. If we add more, if we do, for example, n equals 30, 5 of those numbers are going to be negative. So that means that we've decreased the sum. So what we need to do is we need to find the sum of 25. Now note, we could also find the sum of 24, because if we do 25, we're just adding 0. But it's just a bit nicer to keep it the same as the previous answer. So sum of 25, now remember the formula, it's going to be 25 divided by 2, and then the first and the last term. But we know the first and the last term, right? Because it's usually u1 plus un. But we just said that un, or u of 25, is 0. So that means that it's going to be plus 0, and what's the first term? Well, it's just 60, right? 60, so the first term is 60, the last term is 0, that we're adding up, so it's just going to be this. So it's going to be 25 times 30, which is 25 times 3 times 10, which is 75 times 10, 750. That should be the final answer. Hopefully that was clear. It's like I said, it's not a super difficult question, but it's just nice because it sort of builds that intuition of what does it mean for the sum of a sequence and the value of this. So even though the values of the sequence are decreasing, the value of the sum is increasing up until a certain point, and then it also starts to decrease. So I think this was a nice question. It's only 5 marks, it's not a huge one, but hopefully this was helpful. And if you guys want maybe a bit more help, and that you have some questions yourself that you need helping through and you need to revise a little bit more, then feel free to head over to Thinks About Tutoring. You can grab a tutor there. Very simple, very flexible. You can set up your own schedule. You can set up how often you like to have lessons. Obviously, we as tutors have a recommendation because we know what usually works with students, but ultimately it's up to you. I'll be making more of these videos. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.